Well, can we believe it? The year is gone past, and what a year has it been? The top 40, or as we say, the local market did 22%. That was now to the first week in December for this year, and that was last achieved in 2012. And what a year! It is COVID, it is Omicron, it is debt, it is SASA, it is grants around the world. It's just bad news, but the market just say, I want to go up. And I thought that maybe tonight's show, we must maybe look at some winners and some losers of the market. So first of all, let's have a look at some of the losers. And if I show you these charts, and I'm going to use weekly charts, you'll be completely surprised that these are some of the losers. And I don't want to put on their name, but maybe you recognize it immediately, was Process. In the beginning of the year, Process was close to 2,000 Rand a share. And it dropped all the way from, you can almost say, first week in February, and it went to as low as 1,156, almost 1,000 Rand lost in value. But what we can say is, although it is a loser of 2021, it can maybe be one of the winners of 2022. And the reason why I'm saying that is, and remember, this is a weekly chart, this is not a daily chart. There's a beautiful inverse head and shoulder here, and I want to show you the line here, the neckline, and that's the important one. There you are. I just want to draw it in. There's the neckline for you. I just want to get that down, and then you can see it clearly. And if you look at it, we've got the left shoulder already in place. There you are. There's the left shoulder. We've got the head in place. And we've got the right shoulder. It tried to break up a few weeks ago. It came back, but now it's on the brink of breaking this neckline. And this neckline sits at 1,340 Rand. And if it can go up and it stays above 1,340 Rand, where can it go to? I just want to show you. And the reason why I'm showing you is maybe this is going to be one of the winners of 2022. But what I must say, it must break above this neckline. Where's your stop loss? Your stop loss is at 1,260 Rand and 47. And where's the initial target? The target will be 1,504 Rand if this inverse head and shoulder plays out to the T. Another loser, you will not believe it, was the old market favorite, and we call that Naspers. Now, can you believe it? That Naspers, that's been a favorite for so many years, suddenly was one of the losers of 2022. Now, the beauty about this is, if you think about Naspers, you say to yourself, this share can just go higher. Now, let's just show you now. The reason why I'm still nervous about this share is, look at this. And this is one of the favorites, and there's value unlock, and there's all different stories about this company and Process and how they're going to unlock value. But look at this chart. This chart, and Process had a beautiful chart, but look at Naspers' chart. There's a left shoulder, there's this massive head, there's the right shoulder, and we're on the brink of breaking that neckline, and that is sitting at 2,432 Rand and 70 cents. And where will the top of the right shoulder be? 2,744 Rand and 61 cents. But what is the tragic story here? The tragic story here is, if Naspers starts to consolidate below this neckline, where can it go to? And that immediately reminds about the share many years ago, and that share's name was Sasol. And I can remember when I showed the chart initially with that head and shoulder, I said, but is that true? Can Sasol go below 200 Rand? Well, it went below 100 Rand. So, if you look at this chart, if it breaks this neckline, where can it go to? 1,101 Rand. So, I really hope that Naspers is not going to be a loser for next year. I really hope it turns around and maybe treats some investors well. The big thing is, it must get above that neckline of 2,744 Rand, and then you use the stop loss of 2,430 Rand, and then we know it can maybe move up and go a little bit higher. If I look at some of the other shares, of course, another market favorite, and suddenly the share is starting to struggle. And I was thinking about it, and I mean, in this kind of market, it should not struggle, and that is SPAR. And this was also one of the losers. I mean, look at this chart. I mean, in January 2021, it was close to 200 Rand a share. It dropped all the way down to 162 Rand. It's starting to look a little bit attractive now, but there's no higher lows here. It is just a waterfall formation to the downside. It's only ticking up, and if you look at the weekly chart, where will it only get excited? This share will only get excited if it can get above that resistance. And there you are. There's the resistance. If it gets above, and I just want to draw it in there. There you are. There you are. If it can get above 171 Rand and 46 cents, if it can break above that, we can maybe see a beautiful relief rally. Because what do we have here? We've got the waterfall formation. There it drops. It lifts up a little bit, and then it almost falls off a cliff. So I say it must break at least this resistance line. It must turn that into a support. And we can work all our way up to, let's say, 177.93. That's that resistance. Next one will be 182.56 and maybe 184.87 in time to come. Where's your stop loss? 163.37. That was also one of the losers of the year. Well, let's have a look at another one. And this one surprised me as well. I mean, this is a company that is doing well. It's in the financial services. It should do well. And I mean, they've got a big market cap or a base in South Africa. And that is Old Mutual. Can you believe that? I mean, Old Mutual went up from January. It went up from 9.24 Rand all the way up to 17 Rand. And in these last couple of weeks, it just all the way fell. And I mean, look at this waterfall formation. So we've got a market, and you will see some of the winners now. We've got a market where the losers get just knocked down and the winners, they just stay going up. Now, there you are. Old Mutual must get above 12.36 to make us excited for the next year. And your stop loss is a nice stop loss 12.9, and then it can maybe go to 12.84, 13.35, and maybe all the way back 14 Rand 13. But let's look at some of the winners. I mean, one of the winners here was definitely, and I can remember when we called out in the show, people thought that we were absolutely insane. And that was PPC. I mean, PPC turned out to be one of the winners of the year, and it was quite interesting. This share is coming all the way, and I mean, look at 2021. It actually started its rally before then. But there's January 2021, and I think we called it when this share actually, just to show you, there was the line. When it broke that little line there right at the bottom at 53 cents, from there it just rallied. So that is definitely one of the winners. And where did it go to? It went all the way to 5.77 from, let's call it 50-60 cents. A wonderful rally. But what worries me a little bit is all these lower highs. That will make you a little bit nervous because it tells you that the share is losing momentum. And if the market can get above 5.77 again, the momentum, and go to the top, I think this steep rally that we've seen now, the market is just telling us, let's take just a little bit of a breather so that we can see. But I mean, this is one of the winners, and if you hang on to one of these winners, and that's PPC, where will you get nervous? I will say I will only get nervous if this little line turns into a resistance, and that will be below 4 Rand and 58 cents. Above 4.58, this momentum is still beautiful in place. It looks okay, and strangely enough, it looks like this company is also turning around fundamentally. We all hear about good things from them. Let's have a look at another one, also a dark of the market, that turned out to be one of the winners of the year. Because can you remember the name? And I mean, a lot of you will not even remember that, is Metal. I mean, look at this share. I mean, this chart in January, can you believe it was a share around 70 cents? I mean, this is now a classic example of a share that gives you a nice higher low. There you are. Let's have a look there. There you are. There's the higher low. And I mean, since then it did that higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, all the way. And it looks like there's a little bit of a consolidation here. But we're on the brink of making a brand new high. And if that turns into a support, there you are, and it remains a support, this share can actually go a little bit higher again. And I always tend to like to draw in a consolidation, especially if a share had such a wonderful rally. And I mean, if it remains a winner of the year, where can it go to? If it remains above 7 Rand, it can actually go all the way, can you believe that, to 8 Rand. And only below 5 Rand and 94 cents, I will get a little bit nervous on the share. I mean, if you look at these rallies that we've seen, it's almost unheard of. You will see in some other programs, I will actually show some indexes that you've just seen. I mean, with all the bad news that we had in this market, from looting and anything that actually made this market nervous, the market was just flooded with investors coming into the market, believe that they must buy it. But of course, what we must understand, remember, and you will also see that some of these shares had massive rallies. I mean, look at the gold counters, the platinum counters. I've only picked up a few now. But for me, one of the winners, of course, ArcelorMittal, beautiful recovery story. PPC, beautiful recovery story. Maybe we can see it in SPAR and Process for the coming year 2022. We'll never know. The market is just flooded with cash, and there's a lot of investors just chasing this. And what we find from a lot of investors, they believe that the market cannot drop. It can just go higher. So, well, thank you so much. Visit our website, www.fransdeklerk.com, for more info, and we will chat again.